the old All Things Fabulous. It's retired now, so I've remade it with some current products. I love the two-step stamps because I'm not very good at colouring, and this is really good for adding colour. It's a simple wreath card, and I've added this beautiful big bow, and I've made an envelope for it to fit in so that the little bow sits out the top. So that was the original one. I will put the link to the original blog with the original products on it. This is still current, thankfully. So when I finish the video, I'll just put the link to the original blog, and so you can see the product list down the bottom. Okay, it's all very sparkly. It's a beautiful wedding card. I've made my next one a wedding card because I think that's just so spectacular. All right, yeah, we'll get started. Any questions, I'll address them at the end of the video. All right, you don't need a lot for this one, and I cannot... Oh, here we go. All right, I'll make this one a tiny bit smaller. All you need is a card base, 11 by 5.5, scored at 5.5, and just the top layer. That's all there is. You can add more layers if you want to. Maybe put a coloured one around the border. But that's basically all you need for this card, and also something for the inside, just to, because I like to, if I put one layer on the front, I like to put one layer in the middle to balance out the weight. So we don't need the card base. First part is the layer. So I will show you what I have done, and I'll put them side by side. Ta-da! So this one, I've actually used dyes, and I've coloured the dyes with the blending brush. And I've made it into a beautiful wedding card. So just to show you can still get the same sort of effect. Because I didn't have those stamps anymore and I wanted to use a current product. These are the layering hollyhock dies. I've just used the small ones and the little flowers and that one and the little flowers and the little leaves. That's all I've used. But I did want something a little bit extra. So I grabbed the, what are they? The Eden dies, and I just wanted something a little bit extra, something that didn't have holes in it, like the leaves in the hollyhocks. So I just added that, a couple of those in there. And the only other product I used was my layering circle dies. So we'll get started. So what do you think? The difference between the stamped one and the beautiful die cut one? Alright, I'll just leave that there. Hopefully you can still see it. Alright, so where did my piece go? Here it is. Okay, so your first layer is 5 1/4, and I've just used basic white thick because I just want to add actually no, it's thin, it should be thick. Alright, so the first thing I do is I grab a bowl. Any sort of bowl, but one that'll fit inside. And I just give myself a little guide. Just a little pencil guide, doesn't have to go all the way around, and it will get covered with the layers anyway, just to give me a guide on where to place all my flowers. So it's just a bowl, cup, saucer, anything will work. So that's the first thing. With this card, I've actually put the ribbon on first, and then all the elements go on last, because I wanted the bow up the top running underneath the sentiment. So this is the... sorry, my glasses aren't really great. What's it? Metallic mesh ribbon, a mesh ribbon. I love this because it makes absolutely beautiful bows. So the first thing I do is put my bow on. And I'm so glad this didn't retire because I loved it. This was in the Christmas catalogue, I can't remember, last year, the year before, and it got carried over, which I was very grateful for. And I must tell you, my hands are absolutely freezing cold. But I refuse to put the heater on because electricity prices are so expensive that I'm just going to suffer. Alright. So, just pop your bow on first. Oop. I don't normally go to this much trouble in a video, but I thought you need to see beginning to end. And cold hands are not helping. Just make a little bow at the top. Oh goodness. Alright, so that's all I do. Snip a bit off and I can shorten that later. when I've got all the elements on the card. Alright, I might just scoot it up a little bit higher. And I always secure my bows with glue dots so they don't move around. Let's have a look. Whoop. And I just grab a glue dot. Make sure it's in the centre. And I just secure it behind just to hold the bow in place. That's it. That's all it needs, one glue dot. I'll have to trim that when the card's done. Alright. So the first thing we do is I have die cut 4 of each. I like the rule of 3. So I've got 2 here and 1 up here. And I've just die cut them in white. I hope you can see that. Have a look. It'd probably help if I bring this over too. And for this card I've only used 2 colours. I've just used the Highland Heather and the Gorgeous Grape. And I just wanted to colour the flower parts, so they're the solid background ones and they're the top ones. So I've just done a combination. I think I've done the light in the back and the Gorgeous Grape on top. I just grab my blending brushes. Oh, don't you love how I colour coordinate my brushes? So these will be the bottom ones, and I don't think I've got an awful lot of ink in there. And I don't want the leaves. I just want to colour the flower part. It doesn't have to be perfect. Add a bit of darkness around it. And I just coloured all my flowers. The beauty about this card is you could, if you're making it as a wedding card, you could coordinate it with the bridesmaids' dresses if you know what colour they are. So that's always nice. Alright, so there's the Highland Heather bottom part of the flowers. I didn't do the leaves, just the flower part. And to the top. I really don't normally do all this. I normally have it prepared, but I thought we might as well do the whole thing. So the top part, so some I did some a little bit darker than the others. That one's a nice dark one. Oh, it's a really dark one. A bit lighter. That's simply all I did to colour the flowers. To give, because it was a wedding card, I wanted it to be soft and delicate. So I'll get rid of that. Where's the other half? Where's the other half? Alright. To attach these, I use glue dots again, because I don't ever really attach all the dies. I just attach the centre, so I've got the option to lift them up a little bit. So when you attach these in the centre, I just put it on the back of the top one and just laid it over. It doesn't have to all be glued down. Alright, and even if there's a little bit of glue dot showing in the middle, that helps to put the gems on. Okay, glue dots to the rescue. It doesn't work with every die, but it happened to work with these ones. Oh. Two. Oh, that one didn't stay on. My glue dot, I think it's too cold in here for my glue dots. Oh, another one. Oh goodness, my hands are cold. Right. And last one. And there's the last one. Alright, so that's all. You don't need to tape the whole thing down. Plus they're so fine, it's hard to put glue all over it. A glue dot in the middle is all you need. Alright, so the next step, where did I put the base? Alright, so the next step is, I always put the flowers on first, and I attach these with dimensionals. So, going by that one, I'll scoot over a bit. So, I put one on that side, one underneath, one over there, and one down there. So that one's actually attached with the glue dot, and that one's got a dimensional behind it. So I'm just going to put another glue dot behind that one. You can secure them down after. I like the glue dot because you've still got the option to move things around if you need to. So, alright, so that one's got the glue dot, and this one's going to have the dimensional. And by doing it this way, it gives you the room to start sliding all the leaves and stems underneath it. Alright, dimensional. There, so I can still move that if I need to. Which I think I did on that. I didn't have them quite centered. Alright, now you're still using that little pencil line as the guide. Alright, trim them a bit shorter. Get them out of the way. Alright. Alright, so they're just all attached. Now it's just a matter of putting all the flowers and leaves in. Alright, so I've pre-done some little flowers, and I've just die cut them with Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape. I didn't colour these ones in manually, and I do exactly the same thing with these flowers. I just put a glue dot in the middle, and that will hold that in place. And then when you put the jewel on the top, or the diamante, or whatever you want to put on the top, and I can't remember how that goes. There we go. That might not be perfect. Yep. Alright, so there's still a little, I actually won't show on one, so that one's just stuck down with a glue dot. It must have been another flower I did. Same with that one. Whoop. That one's not quite right, but it doesn't matter. Alright, so now I just started positioning where my flowers might go. I've got a few here to work with. Oh, that didn't stick. Yeah, I think it's too cold for my glue dots. Now spread out the colours. Some big ones. Well, I'll put all the big ones down. Put a big one up there. Oh, another one there. A couple of little ones. Well, I haven't got enough big ones, but that'll do fine. So basically that's where the flowers are going to go. So now it's just putting all the leaves behind it. So I've done some of each of the dies in the hollyhocks. I've actually done some silver foil ones as well, and that was the die out of the Eden dies. And once again, you can either use a tip of glue or a glue dot. I'm just going to use a glue dot because I might have to move some around. And this is probably not going to work. Here we go. So just start by lifting it up and just popping some little bits in there. And I might actually use glue because I think it's going to be a bit quicker than me trying to put glue dots on everything. And that's basically all the glue I put on it. Just a little bit on the stem to hold it in place. Alright. Oops, probably a bit much. That's all right. Put maybe a silver one in. And just go around the card, randomly just popping them in, and then I'll put the little flowers on last. Oh, this is going to take a while, isn't it? I should have had one prepared earlier. Whoop. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Okay. I'm not copying off the other card, I'm just doing this one randomly. Alright, so a couple of little flowers can go in there, but I still like to put them on a bit of the white die cuts. Oops, that was a big blob, wasn't it? Oh, a big blob. Well, you never know what's going to happen in my videos. Alright, need a little bit more, I need some silver. Oh, come on. Need a bit of silver up there. And a little bit of white. And one more up there, I think. Oops, flowers going everywhere. And I need something in there. I'll just grab another one of these. Sometimes. Now, that should just about do it. Alright, they'll dry. And then it's just a matter, so you've got some left over if you want to add some more after you put the flowers on. So I'm just going to, I would normally do glue dots, but this is going to be quicker, I think. Alright, so you can do some on top. Oh, the reason I don't like the glue is because I get it all over my fingers. Actually, whoops. See, stuck my finger. I do remember I did actually use the smaller dimensionals for some of these flowers. I forgot. Whoop. Oh. Oh, I'm not having much luck today. It's really stuck. There we go. Small one. Here's a larger, another one. Probably didn't match out the colours properly because I got dark ones over here and two light ones. And another one up the top. Slip one under there. And that looks about right. And up, no, we need a silver one. We're missing a silver one. There's silver up there. maybe, and that maybe should be enough. By the time I put the blink on, that will be enough. Alright, there we have all the flowers on there. And some of those are not sticking, but that's, we can stick them down when we're done. Alright, so I need to secure that. Oh, excuse me for a sec. Alright, sorry, I had to blow my nose. Alright, so that's now a little bit loose, that needs to be secured. So what I have done, the stamp that I use for that is the Splendid Thoughts, from the Splendid Thoughts, because it was a wedding card, I wanted something very romantic. But because I did made a previous card, I cut the stamp in half because I just wanted the with love bit. So I've had to use my Stamparatus to put them back together to stamp them. Never be afraid to cut up your stamps. It's always a way to put them back together. So I wanted this because it's a wedding card. And because I get lazy sometimes, instead of silver heat embossing, I go back to my Delicata, which I've got in gold and silver. Sometimes it looks like I've used ink. I have, because I get lazy and I don't want to get the whole heat tool out and everything. So that is done. I will just die cut it with my circle dies. And I mounted that with dimensionals, which if someone can point out to me where my dimensionals are. Oh, where'd they go, the big ones? There they are. I mounted that on the, on the silver foil. It's a bit hard for me to see because my, oh goodness, look what I did. Okay, pretend I didn't do that. Alright, so on the back of that, because we want that ribbon to stay down, I just added a bit of tape runner on the back rather than using liquid glue. And then that'll help that ribbon to stay down. Voila! Now that seems like that needs a little bit more up there compared to the other side, so I'm just going to grab another leaf and just add that up there. That is a bit better. Alright, and there's our card done. So then all we would do is attach it to that and add your bling. The original card, I used the iridescent rhinestone gems because it's very sparkly and it goes with the silver foil. Or you've got the iridescent pearls, which is also very wedding-y, so you could use that. And I'll see what they look like. Oh yes, very wedding-y. And they're very sparkly as well. Not as sparkly as the rhinestone ones, but they're still very beautiful. So that's the card. I'll just... Normally I wouldn't put liquid glue on the back of this because sometimes it shows through. I would put tear and tape on it. But I'm only doing very lightly. or you could mount it. Voila, card done. So very similar to the stamped one. It's just an alternative if you don't have the stamps you want. And I'm really sorry I sold those, but when things retire, I've got no choice. I run out of room. I have a bookshelf that I won't allow myself to have any overflowing. So if they're there and I need more room for new stuff, well, they got to go. Alright, so now the envelope. Envelope is fairly simple. There's your envelope. If we have a look. Just be careful putting it in. And then the little bow will sit at the top. So, for the envelope, very simple. 11.5 by 7 inch. And I haven't trimmed it yet. And it's just basic white. Or this is a Australian A4, so I was able to fit it. If not, you'll need a 12 by 12. So 7. What was it? Where's my notes? 11.5. Alright, 11.5. Score it at 5 3/4. And then score down each side. I hope you can see. 1/2 inch each side. And then actually trim, sorry, and just trim from the halfway up one side, flip it over, score it again, and trim the other 1/2 inch. And grab paper snips and just snip a little bit. And just taper the ends just so it folds in nicely. And fold it over. Fold the sides in. And for this one, I just use both tear and tape and glue. One to hold it, and the tape will hold it in place while the glue's drying. You've probably heard me say that 1,000 times. But just a bit of tear and tape along the edge. Take the paper off. And just a bit of glue. And a little bit of glue, liquid glue. Flip the top over. I think my trimmer blade needs replacing. It's starting to get all frayed on the edge. There's an envelope, and I grab my 1 3/4 inch punch, eyeballed it at about there, and just punched it, just enough room to put that card in and have the, take it out. Oh. Slide it in. And there you have a beautiful wedding card. Oh, you can decorate the outside when you've done. Maybe if you've got some leftover flowers. And that's it. Voila. That's all there is. So that's my card for today. Let's line them all up. So there's that one, and wherever the other one went. Oh, there it is. Aren't they just so pretty in those colours? All done. So that is how I assembled that card. Still got lots of bits left over. So I've got some little flowers left over. I could decorate the envelope with those. I've still got some of the leaves and everything left over. We could use them to decorate the inside of the card. And that's it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I'll be back next Sunday. I don't know what I'll make. It'll be a mystery. But please come and join me. I'm just going to duck over to my computer and check any questions before I sign off. Thank you for joining me. Bye. Oh, it doesn't look like anybody's got any questions. Oh, that's amazing. Nobody's got any questions, so it must have mean I did my job right. Alright, that's enough for me. Thank you for everyone all over the world that took the time to join, and whatever time it was, because I'm sure in some countries it would have been really weird hours. I think I'll keep it to this time because it suits me, and it obviously suits a lot of people that have joined in. If you do have any questions, just send me a message. But otherwise, that's all for today. Talk to you soon. Bye.